learning new skills, increasing their self-esteem and benefiting hugely from it. So that was my cause, and it is now my pleasure to invite Alan Roth, Chairman of the Trustees, to come forward. And Alan, I'm happy to present you with a cheque in the sum of £2,268.30. Thank you. And you want the real one as well?
I'll have the real one. And can I just say thank you to everybody who's contributed in any way to this. The Youth Cafe does a lot of phenomenal work as far as I'm concerned, and Charlie's Voyage is something of a special. So thank you very much indeed for that. It will make a real difference to young people. Thank you. Yes, I will. Thank you. But I have another one.
Is that twice as much? You can't cash them both, Alan.
We'll try. It is 6:30, so we'll move into the formal part of the meeting. And the first item of business is to elect the town mayor for the forthcoming civic year. And it is my great pleasure to nominate the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Steve Hipsey, to become our new mayor. Councillor Hipsey has a profound and enduring affection and deep love for our town. He is very well known, and he has contributed in so many different ways to the life of our community. He's not frightened to take on larger organisations when the need arises, and equally he's very keen to support everyone and everything that goes on here. He has the experience of working on the town council. He has been a great support to me during this last year, and has substituted for me as necessary. He also has experience of working on West Devon Borough Council, giving him a different dimension and contacts. So there, it's my great pleasure to propose Councillor Hipsey. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Mrs. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to second the proposal for Councillor Steve Hipsey to become the mayor for the coming year. I first met Steve when he was a joint organiser of Tabby Tidy. He's a man of many talents and skills and will be a great asset to the town council, and he'll bring these skills to the role of mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. So Councillor Hipsey is proposed and seconded. Are there any other proposals? In which case we'll move to a vote. All in favour, please show.
Carried.
Thank you very much. I now have the pleasure of investing the new town mayor with the chain of office. This is the tricky bit.
Take this one off first, otherwise we're going to be in trouble. So pop that over there. I'm getting dressed in the morning when Henry VIII would have been. How's that?
No, it's not strange. This is why I said this is always the tricky bit. And then you come around and see the front.
Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you, Yes. Level 12. now. I've been told this seat is incredibly uncomfortable, and I think there's several of you around that can testify to that. So I have a signature to
You do, sir.
To sign.
Declaration of acceptance of office.
Splendid, in black.
Yes, please.
Okay, good point. So, I, Steve Hipsey, have been elected to the office of Mayor of the Council of Tavistock Town. I hereby declare that I take the said office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties thereof, according to the best of my judgment and ability. Dated this 20th day of May 2025. Splendid.
I need to countersign. Congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Town Clerk. So if I move on to item 9, retiring mayoress. So this will be item 10. So if I can call, please, on the retiring mayoress to step forward with the new mayoress for that little part of the ceremony. Excuse me. Thank you, ladies. If you'd like to just stand there and... Splendid. Yes. Embrace. Thank you very much, ladies. So, if I can just take this opportunity, please, to speak for the first time as mayor. As you know, it's my first time. I still have the old plate on. It's very much your decision when I can take that off and probably replace it with a P to start with, and then we'll move on from there. So I'd like to thank you for the opportunity, giving me this opportunity to serve the residents of Tavistock. As both the Mayor and Councillor Johnson have said, well, everybody has loves of their lives, don't they? I think that's true of all of us. In fact, 4 of the loves of my life, as you can see back there in the public seats, doesn't include you, Rob, or you, Wayne. I also have loves of my life in the New Forest, and I have one at home with a fluffy tail. But it is most definitely the case that a love of my life is Tavistock. It's an amazing town. One of the things that I've said before that I really, really love about this town is the contentment and the fact that when you pass people in the street, by and large, they smile at you. Whether you've got a little dog or not, people smile. And I think that's so important. So it's my intention to try and keep that going. Let's make people smile and maybe even smile a bit more. I don't want to take it to extremes, but I think it's our job very much to keep this a contented and happy town. One of the things that I would like to concentrate on during my year in office is, I would say, inclusivity and communication. We live in a town that is gradually expanding. In fact, it's expanding quite rapidly, I think you'll agree. That we do have a growing population and a lot of people moving into housing developments on the periphery of the town. And I think it's very much our job, and it's very important that we include those people in everything we do. I sometimes wonder how much some of the people that are moving into the town really appreciate what's here for them. There's a lot going on in this town. There are a lot of community groups. There are a lot of people doing very good things. And I would like to do our very best as a team, as the town council, to try and get those people involved in what's going on so that they can contribute to the town. The town can be a happier, more fulfilling place, and just as importantly, we can keep our amazing high street and individual shops going. So I would like to say, please, members, I know most all of you do, but we need to think of our wards in total. So it's not just the residents that have been there for years, it's the way our wards actually stretch out into these new developments. So that's my message at the start of my term here. Later on, we're going to be allocating jobs and interests outside to various members. And I'd just like to take this opportunity also to wish you all the best of fortune in those new roles, particularly those that are taking roles on for the first time. And those roles will include, of course, inclusivity. So that's going to be a key message, I think. I'd now like to just go on and talk a little about our retiring mayor and just congratulate Paul in doing such a fantastic job over the last year. One of the massive achievements, of course, is the fantastic sum of, what was it, £2,268.30. And for those of you that are not aware, this will go to the Youth Cafe, and particularly, as Paul said, the project that aims to take youngsters to sea. Something near to my heart, if you hadn't realised. I love the sea, and I know for sure that those young folks that will go to sea, yes, they might have to take a bucket with them, but they are going to have a fantastic journey. Literally Charlie's journey, and it will improve their chances in life in all sorts of different ways. You may also be aware that myself and another councillor, two councillors in fact, sitting here, and my wife, were fortunate in, I don't know whether you can win an auction, but we won the auction for a delicious supper, I'm told, cooked by none other than our retiring mayor. So I'm not going to let him forget that he still owes us that. We're still working on dates, and I think that's something that we're very much looking forward to. I think somebody else may have actually, somebody in the room may have won breakfasts and lunches, but I can't remember who it was. Anyway, we're looking forward to that very much. I said Tavistock Smiles. We should have T-shirts, Tavistock Smile. But it has to be said also that Jane and Paul smile. And it's something that I've noticed, that our retiring mayor and mayoress have done a fantastic civic job by being out there, showing the face of the council and being joyful and making people feel good about the events that are held in this town. So that's really, really important, and I intend to, as I said, to keep that very much to the front of my my mind as we go on for the next year. As I said, it was last year was my first time in any sort of capacity as mayor, deputy mayor in this case, and I was very grateful to Paul in particular for his guidance. I have to say I didn't have a great deal to do, simply because Paul and Jane did it all. So their sort of attendance, if you like, their attendance record in these civic matters is just staggering. I don't know how they managed to do it. So Cathy and I enjoyed a couple of events where we got involved, but I'm still on a learning curve. So Paul's guidance, his calmness, and thoughtfulness has been very, very, very helpful to me, and I think to you as well. Sometimes he does have this irritating habit where, well, I'll say something which is sort of ham-fisted and slightly rough around the edges, and then he'll follow it up with something else, and you think, oh, I wish I'd said that. Yeah, you can watch and learn from this gentleman. It's been marvellous. And finally, he's also on a promise to come sailing with me. We will make it happen. Now that you're less involved in civic matters and so on, I'm going to have to make the time, and we will get you on board the boat. So, many thanks indeed, Paul and Jane. So, we move on to item 13, where I have the honour of asking Councillor Ward to approach the rostrum and receive the badge that we traditionally give to retiring mayors. So thank you very much, Paul. It was all very well, very much meant.
Well, thank you, Steve. I'm not sure I recognise myself from the very generous and warm description, and I'm sure my wife didn't recognise me, but there we are. I'm very, very grateful to members who gave me the opportunity to be mayor for the last 12 months. That's my third term of office, and I now have 3 of these little badges, and they're all a complete pain to stick on your lapel. But that's just the way it goes. Anne's nodding. It's been a great year. As Steve said, we have been very busy. There have been a lot of civic attendances, as well as the big ceremonial events. And it is a great joy to go and see what people are up to, and to visit places that perhaps you wouldn't otherwise go to. And I think as mayor, you have some really important roles. Within the town, you're an ambassador for the council, and you are acknowledging people's efforts in the town. But when you go to events outside the town, you're an ambassador for the town. And those are important roles to take on. I have thoroughly enjoyed all of the attendances and the civic and ceremonial, but I've also enjoyed what I call the work of being mayor. Because when you're the mayor, you're ex officio member of just about everything. So you have lots of nice meetings to go to. You're also the first port of call when our officers want to discuss an issue with a member. So you find yourself presented with all sorts of things to give a view on or to take a lead on. I mean, I only had 2 phone calls this morning from Wayne, and that's the way it is. So it's a really good thing to do, and if any of you would like to consider doing it in due course, I would highly recommend it. It's a great honour and a privilege. Now, I couldn't do the work of mayor on my own. I'm highly dependent on a number of people. I'm very dependent on Jan, who keeps the mayor from making any silly mistakes. And also Grace down in the office, who's only recently joined us but has been very helpful during her time with us, and Dee before her. But I couldn't do this job without my wife, who I sometimes wonder who's the mayor actually, because she's forever telling me I should have been somewhere 5 minutes ago, or don't you think we ought to be leaving, we need to be there now. You can imagine the sort of scenario, can't you? We men need to be kept in order. Now, I would have presented Jane with a bunch of flowers today, but as we're clearing off tomorrow on holiday, she'll have to wait till we come back. So, without further ado, I will stand down. I wish you a very successful year, Mr. Mayor. Officers and staff, thank you for your support. I hope in turn I've been able to provide you with some support at times as well. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Councillor Ward. So we move on to consider who we would like to occupy this position as deputy for this year. So I'd like to ask, please, for proposals for the deputy mayor's position this year. In fact, it's me. I previously agreed to say that, and I will, that I propose Councillor Mrs. Anne Johnson as Deputy Mayor for you to consider. May I have a seconder, please? Thank you very much.
I'm delighted to second this nomination. I know it looks like on the board that Councillor Mrs Johnson has done this job oodles of times, but actually you can't ask for anybody better. Anne is calm, measured, thoughtful. I always say with Anne and I, as everybody knows, Anne and I joined the council together on the same night. I always say I shoot from the hip, she thinks about it. And that is why we have always had a really good friendship through the council. We're always there for each other. Anne is there for people. She's a people person. She, I'm going to say delights with tongue in cheek, because Paul will agree to this, but she loves doing her catering for the tentors and having the tents in her house for the next few weeks if it's been raining. Anne has been with the Outdoor Education Forum for 20 plus years, probably more than that, 34 years, there we go. And she has also been, well, she's recently retired, haven't you, from cadets? Yes. And that's after how many years, Anne?
I think that's 20.
Yeah, 20 years. With Paul, they make a great team. I remember the first time when Anne was going to be the mayor, that her and Paul went for dancing lessons for the first dance of being the mayor. And Anne was really quite worried about it. So they had some dancing lessons together. And Anne, as usual, carried it off with her usual elegance, positive demeanour and everything else. And I'm absolutely delighted to put you forward to be the Deputy Mayor. I know that you will do an amazing job. I also know you'll keep Steve in line, because the Mayor will certainly need it. He's another one from the hip.
Hipsy.
So, yeah, shoot from the hip. You need to be more Anne, because that will make you more Paul, because they think. So, yes, I'm more than happy, Mr Mayor, to propose Councillor Mrs Anne Johnson.
Splendid. Thank you for that, Councillor Ewings. I would like to ask, are there any more nominations, please, for the post of Deputy Mayor? No, so we'll put that to the vote. Those in favour of Councillor Johnson being Deputy Mayor, please show.
Carried.
Thank you very much. So I declare Councillor Mrs Johnson as Deputy Mayor for the next year. So perhaps, Anne, if I can ask you to step forward. And I'm sure you know how this one works. You've worn this a few times before, so I can...
I've been Deputy Mayor 3 times.
3 times. Now, I don't know whether you tend to slip this on or put the hook at the back. Yes. Is that comfortable? Let's just pop it under the lapel. There we go. I'm not entirely sure whether this is part of the protocol, but now that we have... Oh, of course, yes. You happy that side? Yeah. You're aware of the trip hazards.
Yeah.
As I said, I'm not 100% sure. In fact, while the book is being signed, I'd like to just reiterate Councillor Ewing's comments that I'm very pleased and happy to have this lady sitting to the left here, because I think everybody will agree that, you know, I do tend to go off the piste every now and then, and I'm sure Anne will be more than happy to kick me into line with her wisdom. And let's face it, she does know a great deal about the back history of everything, which I can't claim to. So welcome on board, Anne.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Declaration of acceptance of office. I, Anne Johnson, having been elected to the office of Deputy Town Mayor of the Council of the Tavistock Town, hereby declare that I take the said office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties thereof according to the best of my judgment and ability. Dated the 20th of May 2025.
Congratulations to Madam Deputy Mayor.
Mr Mayor, members of the public, officers, thank you very much for electing me as Deputy Mayor for 2025-26. I look forward to working with you, Mr Mayor, and with all the members, and serving the town for the coming year to the best of my ability. This is the town of my birth. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else ever, and I'm hugely privileged and honoured to be chosen as Deputy Mayor for the coming year. Thank you very much.
Good. Well, now that we have a new bridge team, I think I would refer to it, in a warship up here, we still have our bosun and our helmsman here who do a very good job of keeping us on course. So we move on to the more procedural part of the meeting, I'd say. Before we do so, I would just say to those of you at the back that if you're not keen to sit and listen to us allocate jobs and so on and so forth, please feel free to leave if you'd like to. So you might find this a little tedious, that's all. So we'll start with item 20, apologies for absence. Do we have any apologies for absence, please, Mr. Town?
Yes, sir, we have apologies from councillors Venning, Munro and Poppy.
Splendid. Thank you very much. Duly noted.
Just to say, we'll probably be over in 15 minutes if they want to stay for 15 minutes.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I've just been pointed out that, of course, we do have some a buffet here. So if you want to put up with 15 minutes of me droning on, please feel free to stay. It's your choice. An ice cream. That's a good idea. Yeah. Splendid. Thank you. Thanks, Carl. So apologies for absence have been noted. Declarations of interest, please. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say in terms of a declaration? Good. Confirmations of minutes from the last full council meeting, which I think was held on the 22nd of April. Those have been circulated. Does anybody have any comments, please, on the minutes from that meeting? No? Good. So can I have a proposal, please? Thank you. And a second. Would anybody like to second that? Thank you. And those in favour? Good.
Carried.
Thank you. Item 20, well, it's 23 on the list I've got. 6. Yes, so other matters to be considered at the annual meeting. Order of business. To consider the suspension or standing order numbers 5 Juliet, 4 to 6, 8 to 10 and 13 to 20 to enable the following business to be transacted. So I think we need to vote on that. Yes, so I'd like a proposal for that, please.
Yes.
And a seconder, Councillor Johnson. Those in favour? Thank you. So, the Mayor's expenses, I will obviously take a back seat on this one and ask Deputy Mayor to please take my place while this is discussed, and I'll slip out to the back way.
Move on to item 7, Mayor's expenses. To consider the payment of an allowance of £2,000 to the Town Mayor to defray the expenses attached to this office and pursuance of section 15(5) of the Local Government Act 1972. Can I have a proposer, please? Councillor Edelman.
I'd like to propose that,
Thank you.
Mayor.
And a seconder, Richard. Thank you. Those in favour, please show.
Carried.
Thank you very much. Could you ask the Mayor to return, please?
Joining Sean Sheep at the Children. Thank you very much. So we move on to item 8, the appointment of committees and consultative groups. The lists have been agreed and in principle and circulated. So I intend, just to save time, to take this en bloc unless anybody has any difficulty with that. Are there any comments on the lists? Anybody would like to change their minds or do something different? No? Okay. So, I'd like to have a proposal for that, please. Yes, thank you very much. And a seconder. Thank you very much, Councillor Moody. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Calendar of meetings has also been circulated and looks entirely satisfactory to me, unless anybody has any problems with that. You want to propose that as well?
I will ask a question for the benefit of Councillor Poppy, who's
Certainly.
not here. We were told last week that the General Manager would be putting the dates onto Outlook for us.
Ah, yes.
You were mentioned, you might not have been here, but you were mentioned.
Did you read your minutes? Of course. I think that's noted. Thank you very much. Are you also Town Clerk?
Sorry. We have agreed that they will go on Outlook. I'm not sure that we have agreed who the person actually arranging that is going to be as yet. But yes, an Outlook invitation will be sent, which will give everybody their calendar for the year.
Any more spanners in the works? Anyone? No. Good. In that case, I'd like to ask somebody to propose the calendar of meetings. Thank you very much. That's Councillor Ward. Thank you. Well, we'll have Councillor Smith to propose, Councillor Ward to second if he's happy with that. Thanks. Those in favour?
Carried.
Thank you. Appointment of representatives to charities and other bodies. Again, I think you've all seen the lists. I hope you're happy with who is going to represent us on these various groups. Unless anybody has any. Councillor Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a point. 2 councils ago, I reported on the Dartmoor Commons Owners Association and offered my opinion that I personally think that, having attended that on several occasions, the people there have a level of knowledge and involvement in the operation and management of land in Dartmoor that is far beyond the knowledge of any councillor here. And most of the time, and I'm not no stranger to committees and consultative groups like that, most of the time I felt absolutely useless. I did suggest at the council meeting, and I've since written to officers suggesting that I think the council, both the council and the association, would be better served were it an officer who is involved in the day-to-day operation of the land, knows what the issues are on a day-to-day and can contribute to the decisions of that association, that an officer should represent the council. And I genuinely still believe that.
Just to make it clear to everybody, the group to which you are referring is the Dartmoor Commons Owners Association? Correct. To which we are proposing to ask Councillor Poppy to represent us. Good. Do you have any thoughts on, as an officer, Town Clerk, on that proposal?
No, I mean, these are member appointments, and it's appropriate and that's the reason why they're here. There are situations such as the Chamber of Commerce where we've indicated where officers might attend, but they don't attend as members of that organisation. And certainly if there were things which came up in relation to any of these where officer attendance would be appropriate and was acceptable to the sponsoring body, then we would be quite happy to send an officer along as well. But these are member appointments in terms of where they are, and this was discussed, I think at some length actually at the informal meeting that we had to consider this.
Thank you, Mr. Town Clerk. I think this is something that we ought to be talking to Councillor Poppy about, Graham. So I take your point, and it sounds like a very wise one. And what you say about the Dartmoor Commoners Owners Association, I can imagine the sort of depth and thickness of their experience must be absolutely vast. So I think, taking into account, unless somebody has any other thoughts, does anybody want to just answer Councillor Parker's concerns? Anybody, any dissenters or anybody that particularly wants to push that line? No. Okay. Right. I think what I'm proposing is that we leave it as it is, but then we, in association with Councillor Poppy, we basically get him to bring an officer with him when and if he thinks it's important. Is that, do you think that's a reasonable solution?
Yes, of course, Mr. Mayor.
Yes?
Yeah, yes, I'll go along with it.
Good.
It's not something I want to make an issue of.
No,
I
that's
just
fine.
think it would be best for the interest of this council.
Yes. Well, I think I see a few nods around the chamber, so I think that is just getting a general nod of assent, but nothing more. So if I can ask somebody please to propose the adoption of this list of representation of charities. You'd like to propose it? Good, thank you very much, appreciate that. A seconder please. Thank you, Beth. And all those in favour?
Carried.
Thank you. That's splendid. So go back to our agenda. If I can find it. So here we are. Item 11, general power of competence. So I'll just read this. Having met the criteria for eligibility for the general power of competence relating to the electoral mandate, which is 66%, and although I believe that we are getting a little close we are. So something we do need to bear in mind for the next year. And relevant to training of the clerk to re-adopt the general power of competence. So the proposal is to re-adopt the general power of competence. A proposer, please. Councillor Edelman. Anybody like to second? Yep. Good. Those in favour? Thank you. And we have the record of attendances for last year, which was circulated at a little stern of the minutes. Of the agenda, which I'm sure you've all had time to reflect and have a look at. And I'd like to adopt that as the true reflection of what happened in the last year, unless anybody has any issues with that. So a proposer, please, Councillor. Oh, is that a point you have?
Mr. Mayor, I just want to ask, why there are only certain meetings that are about the attendance? When you look at all the other meetings you go to, it's they're not included, like for the almshouses and all the different charities and things, outside bodies.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, this is a record of attendances at council meetings or meetings which are held and convened by the council. Clearly, outside bodies have different meeting arrangements. They may be regularised in terms of what they are. They may be on an ad hoc basis, and we don't have a way meaningfully of being able to collate that information. So this is very much the record of council meetings. Clearly, for those members who report back on their representation of outside bodies, they do have an opportunity in their reporting back to advise of when they've attended, where they've attended, and the items of business that have been considered by those bodies.
Do you want to come back on that, Bev?
Well, I just thought, it'd be very interesting to see, and I added them all up actually, and it's something like over nearly, about 24 meetings extra on top of the council meetings that, that I've done actually. So I just thought, it would just be an interesting concept.
I think my personal feeling is, and I'm looking really here at Jan, the administrative task of getting all that information and data in from the various, and let's face it, some of these groups don't meet very often, and they sometimes are a bit shaky, sketchy, and I think that would be rather a difficult thing to achieve. So I think the idea is laudable. But does anybody else want to come in on that? No. Thank you, Richard.
No, it's a local requirement. It was changed last year into its current format after some feedback had been received from members, but how it is configured for council meetings is very much a matter for council itself to decide.
Any more thoughts? No. May I have a proposal for that, please? Councillor Smith and a second, Councillor Martin. Those in favour? Yes, thank you very much. And our final, I think it's our final formal, no, we've got another one, yes. Our final formal item here is the sad resignation, unfortunate resignation of Councillor Ursula Mann from this session of council. I think we all know the story behind this. Ursula now has a very, very busy job, which I think appears to be quite demanding. Well, demanding and also fulfilling. It almost feels as if she was made for that particular job with the Devon and Cornwall Police. And I wish her luck and good fortune with the work she does, the very important work she does. We all know that she has put in a massive amount of work with a neighbourhood development plan, a very, very good work, and which has been extremely successful in the sense that it was accepted by the local population with a fair majority. I can't remember what it was, but surprised me. So I think we are just really going to note this and say an official thank you very much to Ursula for her time with the council, and she will most definitely be missed, I think. Does anybody want to add to that? Anybody like to say? Councillor Ewings.
As everybody knows, Ursula and I became very good friends, and we sort of picked each other up at times. But Ursula, it's the groups that she's also involved in within the town that she has given unstinting support to. She really takes her role seriously. And as for her new job, it was a temporary post when she first went for, I think, 6 or 9 months. But almost within weeks, it was made a permanent position. And she started off as a paralegal. And now
we are live streaming. I'm just in terms of content.
Sorry. We know that she is enjoying her job and...
Sorry.
And is very happy. This also now gives her time to spend more time with the family and be able to go off and do some of the weird things that she does. Yoga retreats and camping and all sorts of things that Ursula gets up to. So I think, the town council owe a big debt to her for the 7 years that she gave to this council and the work that she was just unstinting, and her determination to get that neighbourhood plan delivered for Tavistock.
Thank you very much, Councillor Ewings. Any other thoughts on that, Councillor Harton?
Just an observation. What's the position? Because obviously there's now been an election. what's the position with competency if nobody stands up?
Yes, please.
If we were to lose another councillor who's been returned at an election, we would no longer be eligible for the general power of competence. So we are now on the minimum threshold. We will notify the electoral authority or the electoral registration officer and the returning officer at the borough council, and they will provide us with dates whereby we can now advertise the vacancy, which if memory serves me right is a 2-week advertisement period, but they will work back from available dates that they have, and that will provide an opportunity if 10 electors of the ward wish to demand an election, then by putting their names forward, they will be able to do so, and then an election will be held. And whoever is returned, whether or not contested, will be deemed to be an elected representative on the council. If that does not lead to a request, then there will be a co-option process in due course.
Thank you, Town Clerk. Any other issues with that? No, good. Right, that brings us to the formal end of the meeting. I hope that you think I might be able to take these L plates off. Sorry about the buttons and various other little issues, but so declare the end of the meeting, but please don't rise just yet, because some of you may be aware, some of you may not. It only came to my notice yesterday when I was actually out sailing, but there was an incident in town during which there was a road traffic accident in Dolwyn Road, I believe. The police attended and, sorry, yes, do you want to cut that off? Yeah.